Like before I was a Christian, I would see stuff like this and I wouldn't even think twice. I would just, keep it moving, keep it pushing. But, when you become a Christian, it's like your eyes are open and it's like you can't close them. You can't close them. You're just aware of so much more that you were just never aware of before. And a lot of it's funny because a lot of the stuff that we used to be blind to, it's always been right in front of our face. Like the enemy operates right in front of our face. It's right in front of our face. It's literally right in front of our face. But if you're spiritually asleep, then you're not going to pick up on what's happening. And this is one of those stories because I got sent this story by one of my friends on TikTok. It all started with this video right here. I'm going to show you this video in a second to fill you in on what's going on. But just to give you some more context before we get into the actual video, this article says After School Satan Club sparks religious freedom debate in Chesapeake. So there's actually a club called the After School Satan Club, and it's ran by some very interesting people, to say the least. This dude right here, his name is Lucian, and I've covered him on my channel before, specifically about a story about Playboy Cardi. Lucian is a co-founder of the Satanic Temple. The Satanic Temple is an entire organization that was created because of people's love of Satan. Because people love the way that Satan, went against God. They love the way that he rebelled against God. Now, these people who created the Satanic Temple, they don't believe that the Bible is true. They believe that the Bible is a fairy tale, but they love the way that the character of Satan rebelled against God. They love the way that he was a free thinker. They love the way that he wasn't afraid to challenge, the authority that was God. They love that rebellious spirit. And ultimately, that's what led them to create the Satanic Temple. So these same people who made the Satanic Temple are now offering after-school programs. And it's called After School Satan. And like I said, these programs are already available at elementary schools, at middle schools. There's already children that are going to these programs after school. There's already parents that are allowing children to go to these programs after school. And you might be wondering, okay, well, what is going on in these after school programs, this after school Satan programs? Well, this is one of the coloring books. Seems pretty innocent, right? One of the coloring books. There's everything in this is just demonic and dark. Color Annabelle's the Satanic Children's Big Book of Activities, right? And it says color Annabelle's study filled with satanic literature and philosophy. Okay. So listen, but the Satanic Temple, they're adamant at saying that, hey, we're not trying to push Satanism on children. We're not trying to get them to believe in what we believe in. We're simply trying to get them to be free thinkers. We're simply trying to get them to think for themselves. And throughout the process, we're going to offer them, science lessons. And we're going to offer them art lessons. And we're going to help them, appreciate the world around them through the view of science and not God. And we're going to help them understand that they don't have to fear other worldly horrors. In other words, there is no hell. And there's a very interesting video that I saw on their website. I'm going to show it to you. I'm only going to play like the first 5 seconds of this video, but this is basically a pitch for the After School Satan program directly from the Satanic Temple's website.
Satan's not an evil guy. He wants you to learn and question why. He wants you to have fun and be yourself. And by the way, there is no hell.
So that's what they're showing to children. I'm assuming, day one when they go into After School Satan program. And they're acting like, okay, we're not trying to convert you to our beliefs, but you are converting children to your beliefs because you're lying to them and you're telling them that there is no hell. So why would anyone ever say that there is no hell? Well, if you believe in Satan, It's very simple. If you can get children to believe that there is no hell, then there's no reason for them to want to seek salvation for their soul, because there is no hell, there is no heaven. We're all just gonna die and be, be RIP, resting in peace, right? Let me show you this video. This is a video from TikTok. Let me just play it. I'll shut up now. Let me just play the video.
An after-school Satan club is on its way to one Chesapeake primary school. Organizers say they will not discuss Satan, but instead will focus on compassion and science.
However,
once again, I'm sorry. The organizer for the club says that they will not discuss Satan, but they're just going to talk about compassion and science. So why not name it Compassion Club? Why not name it Science Club? The reason why you have to name it the Satan after party or the Satan, club is because you want to create division. Satan's whole goal is to create division. His whole goal is to create division. So if you want it to be true to what the club is about, supposedly, according to these people, if it's truly about science and compassion, then name it Science Club, name it Compassion Club. But no, you want to piss Christians off. You want to piss people off. You want to create attention. You want to create buzz. And that's exactly what they're doing.
some parents are angry and say the club is not appreciated at BM Williams Primary School. Emily Harrison has a reaction from parents and administrators.
Couldn't believe the schools would allow something like this.
Confusion and shock are two emotions some Chesapeake residents say they had when they first saw the flyer for the new after-school Satan Club.
And it's scary. I wouldn't want the little one when she grows up. I don't know, how I feel about her going over there.
Rose Bastet, one of the organizers of After-School Satan Club, says this club will not push anything. Instead, it will offer arts and crafts, games and puzzles, and participation is entirely up to parents.
You know how ridiculous that is to say? Because the Satanic Temple, they're now considered to be a religious organization. In order for this After-School Satan Club to be available at a school near you, it has to be ran by a member of the Satanic Temple who is trained in the beliefs and in the, values of whatever they believe and whatever they value. They have to be trained in that. So to say that nothing is going to be pushed at the After-School Satan Club that is ran by a member of the Satanic Temple is ridiculous. That's like saying, okay, we're going to have a after-school Christian club ran by a Christian pastor, but nothing is going to be pushed. Okay, so what do you mean? You're not going to teach anything about the Bible? You're not going to teach anything about theology? You're not going to teach anything about Jesus? Nothing's going to be pushed? So if you're just going to have a member of the Satanic Temple running an after-school Satan club, which is what it's called, not teaching anything about what they believe in, then what is the purpose to have the club in the first place? If you're just going to teach them how to be free thinkers or how to, learn about science and how to have more compassion, then what is the purpose of the club in the first place? It's all built on a foundation of lies. And they act like, what they're doing is not evil. But bro, it is evil. It is evil. And once again, it's not that I'm afraid of Satan. I don't think if you're a real Christian, you're not afraid of Satan because you know Satan is literally nothing. Not that Satan's not real, but the significance that Satan has to influence me or affect me or hurt me or harm me, bro, the power of Jesus lives within me. I don't fear Satan. I fear God. I don't fear Satan. But I fear for children who don't understand these things. I fear for children who are being indoctrinated, and their parents are allowing it. The school board is allowing it.
Parents.
We are not here to steal your children. Your children do not have to come to the club if you do not want them to.
Hold on. I don't trust anyone who talks like that. I'm sorry. What did you say, ma'am? You're not here to do what?
We are not here to steal your children. Your children do not have to come to the club if you do not want them.
Bro, I don't trust you. We are not here. We are not here to steal your children. We are not. They don't got to come. Bruh, I don't trust you. I don't.
them to.
Bastet says the After School Satan Club only exists to offer an alternative to the Good News Club, another after-school club that teaches Christianity to young students at B.M. Williams Primary School.
So that's very critical that you understand that. They said that the After School Satan Club only exists because the Good News Clubs exist. So Good News Clubs is basically like Christian after school clubs. So clubs that teach, biblical principles, beliefs based on the Bible, basically. So these Christian clubs, the only reason why they created the After School Satan Club, the only reason they made it was because they wanted to create an opposition for the Christian clubs. Does that not sound like the agenda of the devil? Does that not sound like everything that the devil is about? Creating opposition to Christianity, to Jesus, to God? But yet y'all still want to act like this is, it's okay. We can send our kids there. It's okay. They're not going to teach us about anything about Satan. A club ran by somebody from the Satanic Temple is not going to teach us anything about Satan. Okay. I don't know. I guess I'm just stupid. I don't know.
News Club, another after-school club that teaches Christianity to young students at B.M. Williams Primary School.
Contrary to public belief, Christianity is not the nation's religion. If we have Muslims, we have Jewish people, we have Buddhists, we have Sikh, Hinduists. There doesn't ever seem to be a safe space for them in these public schools.
That's fine. You're free to practice whatever religion you want to practice. But my thing is why does it have to be at the expense of Christians? Why do you have to put down Christianity in order to elevate your religion? If you're so confident in your religion, then stand on your religion. I don't have to put down other religions. I don't have to talk bad about other religions in order to help myself, believe more in my religion. I know that Christianity is the one true religion. I know it is. But I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, no one can practice other religions. Y'all can practice that if you want to, but I'm going to keep preaching the good news. I'm going to keep telling y'all about Jesus. And I'm going to keep telling y'all about this Bible because I know it's the one true religion. If y'all want to go and stray off and do other stuff, worship other gods, then go ahead and do that. That doesn't stop me from preaching the good news. That doesn't stop me from trying to get y'all closer to the truth. It's because I love you. I don't want you to go to hell. I don't want to make this all about, okay, Christianity is just about not going to hell. But bro, the reason why Jesus came down here is to save our souls so that we had another path, so that we had another opportunity. What are these things teaching you? What is the After School Satan Club teaching you about the afterlife? What does the Satanic Temple believe when it comes to the afterlife? What does this do for you? What does it do for children? A whole lot of nothing. But guess what? Y'all remember this dude right here who I showed you. This is the dude who runs the Satanic Temple. So he did an interview a few months ago, and I want to show it to you because he's getting questioned by obviously somebody from the news about After School Satan, but then also there's also a pastor involved, a Christian pastor involved in this interview in support of After School Satan Club. You heard me right. A Christian pastor supports the After School Satan Club. So I want to show you this video as well because it's just crazy.
Well, it's called the After School Satan Club, but we don't engage in religious indoctrination. We're not trying to convert children to Satanism. It just happens to be a club run by the Satanic Temple, and we put it into school districts where...
Is that not the stupidest thing? It just happens to be a club ran by people in the Satanic Temple, but we're not trying to teach your children anything about what we believe in. Like I said, that's so stupid. It's like we have a Christian pastor leading an after-school Bible study, and we're saying that we're not going to teach your children anything about the Bible. It's just so stupid.
They do have proselytizing evangelical clubs where people are free to send their children to those. But we have parents in multiple school districts who want an alternative and want the critical thinking studies that we have on our curriculum and other such things. And the school board voted against that in York County, Pennsylvania. And that doesn't end the battle, it only begins the battle, because they seem entirely ignorant of the law over there, which would have prevented them from having a vote to begin with, because frankly, it's not up to a school board to decide which religious groups they approve of and which ones they do not. Those public facilities are open to any group. They're not endorsed by the school district. They're not part of the regular school curriculum. They're not forced to have their children engage with it if they don't want. They didn't need to create this controversy over it, and we would rather that they hadn't. And if they didn't like it, there was no way it was going to impede upon their lives or their religious worship in any way.
Now, for parents who may be concerned out there and they hear the word Satan, the after school Satan club.
So just for context, the white dude at top, that's the dude who runs the Satanic Temple. This dude at the bottom in the blue shirt and the glasses, the dark glasses, apparently he's a pastor. He's a Christian pastor, all right? This other dude right here, I think he's just a reporter.
Do you blame them for thinking this would be more about devil worshiping than what you're saying it's about?
No, we realize that people are going to have that kind of visceral reaction, and people have their assumptions about what self-identified Satanism means to the people who are engaged with it or practicing it. And that's fine. It's up to us to put forward the public messaging to let people know who we really are and what we really believe and what we do. And part of that is allowing us to engage in the public forum in ways in which we can show people and lead by example and show what we really mean when we say these things and what we're really doing. And again, if they don't want to engage with us, they don't have to. But I think they shouldn't deny us equal access just based on the assumptions they've made prior.
So the question is, and I think he's about to ask him this question. Okay, what you say you don't worship Satan. You say this club is not going to be teaching children about, Satan, right? You say that this is going to be a wholesome club. Okay, but what are you actually teaching then? What do you really believe, and what are you really doing? Specifically with the children, what are you really doing?
So what would happen in one of these clubs after school? What would you talk about? What would you do? What would be the curriculum for parents who may be, skeptical of it?
Earlier on, when we were putting together our curriculum for the after-school Satan clubs, we had a very kind of defined curriculum that we felt led children through different critical thinking exercises to build up their thought process skills and a reliance on science to find solutions to questions they have. What we found when we started initiating these clubs is that being an after-school club, the children weren't really interested in jumping into a degree-type program after class, and were more interested probably in having fun and playing games.
I mean, just say what it is, bro. Like, he's saying, okay, at first we started out with a design curriculum for children that taught children how to be reliant on science in order to figure out questions that they had. Okay, just tell it what it is. You're teaching them how to be atheists. Like, why we got to do, like, just say, like, this is after school Satan atheism club. We're going to teach them how to be atheists, right? Like, because that's what it is. Okay, but now what happened? Now he's saying, okay, children, they got bored of that. Children didn't want to go from a full day of school into another day of after school programs. They want to have a little bit more fun. Okay, so what are y'all actually doing now? What's happening inside these clubs now?
Games or whatever. So we opted for a more self-directed learning curriculum where we have games and activities and trained volunteers who can help guide the children through lessons related to whatever they're interested in at that time. And so in that way, we want to kind of keep it light and fun and still fill that time.
So what are y'all doing? You're keeping it light, you're keeping it fun, you're letting them play games. You're letting it be self-directed. So you're letting them basically do whatever they want to do. So what are we getting here? If y'all are not teaching anything, if you did away with your curriculum because the kids were not interested in learning your curriculum, then what are we actually doing? Are we just having people from the Satanic Temple just babysit our kids after school? Is that what it is? So because by that standpoint, their whole argument is, okay, we should be able to do this because we are a religious institution. So we should be able to have these clubs. But what are y'all doing? What value are you providing? What beliefs are you providing? Because it sounds like you don't have any beliefs, or you don't have any beliefs that you want to share publicly. You don't want to share anything publicly, because ultimately there's some form of indoctrination going on, but they just don't want to share what it is.
Now, Pastor DZ Cofield, who's based here in Houston, what would be wrong with that?
Well, I think, first of all, thank you for having me on. I think the issue is really about a parent's choice. And I don't disagree with Mr. Greaves's position, in part because when you look back at the 2001 Supreme Court rule that was rendered, churches and Christian-based organizations have used that to their advantage for years. I'm concerned that even though I am a Christian, I'm concerned that they're bringing the Bible in to the instructional day.
I don't want to get off topic, but did you hear what he's concerned about? Hold on. Listen to what he just said.
I think the issue is really about a parent's choice. And I don't disagree with Mr. Greaves's position, in part because when you look back at the 2001 Supreme Court rule that was rendered, churches and Christian-based organizations have used that to their advantage for years. I'm concerned that even though I am a Christian, I'm concerned that they're bringing the Bible in to the instructional day.
He said, Pastor Cofield, Baptist pastor, Christian pastor. He said he's concerned that the Bible is being brought into the school day. Did I hear that incorrectly? You know it's bad when you got the leader of the Satanic Temple. You know you saying something crazy when the leader of the Satanic Temple is nodding his head in agreement of what a Christian pastor is saying. You know that we've kind of been losing our way when that's happening. But why are you concerned? Why are you concerned that the Bible is being introduced into the school day? And here's the thing. I feel like there's a lot of people, a lot of pastors, a lot of Christians in general that are more concerned about being politically correct. The politically correct thing to say is like, okay, well, if Christians can have, the Bible introduced in school days, and if Christians can have after school Christian clubs, then, that means that every religion, no matter what you believe in, even if you literally believe in Lucifer, if you literally believe in Satan, then that should be able to be offered to kids. But here's a very simple question that I would want to ask. And listen, people are going to say like, oh, well, this is not a biblical question and blah, blah, blah. But let me just ask you this question. Would Jesus have that same viewpoint? Would Jesus have that same viewpoint that just because Christianity and the Bible is being offered as an after-school program, that means that after-school Satan should be offered as well? If Jesus co-signs that, if Jesus says that that's okay, then I guess that's okay. But I have a hard time believing that Jesus would be like, yeah, after school Satan should, to keep it fair, right? To keep it fair, we should allow children to go to after school Satan program. If you truly believe in the Bible, if you truly believe it's true, then you know that Christianity is the one true religion. So why would you be advocating for children to go to an after school Satan club just because you want to be politically correct? But hey, a lot of people are bowing down nowadays.
Possibility, Isaiah. And what if the educator who wants to bring in a sacred text brings in the Quran, for example? Then my child has to go into that curriculum. That should not be up to the teacher to decide that. That should be my choice. In an after-school program setting, children have the freedom to choose. Parents have the freedom to choose. I have a problem with this vote because they put a Bible program right in the middle of the school day. And they want to deprive another religious group of their rights. Now,
once again, I don't want to get too far off course, but this pastor just said he's upset because apparently in the district that they live in, the school district declined the Satanic Temple's what do you even call it? The Satanic Temple's request to start a after-school Satan program. It was declined in this school district. And this pastor is saying that he's upset that it was declined because that Christians are allowed to put the Bible in the middle of the school day. So now children don't even have a choice. They have to learn about the Bible because you can't just skip school in the middle of the school day. You can skip after school because no one's forcing you to stay after school. But in the middle of the school day, you have to learn about the Bible in this school district. I don't know what school district it is. But he's concerned because how can we have that same right as Christians to teach children about the Bible, but the Satanic Temple doesn't have the same right to teach children about Satan? Does that not sound a little funny to y'all? It sounds a little funny. I don't know what's going on with that.
Antagonistic as I think calling this the Satan curriculum or the Satan church worship, and they're focusing on secularism and rational thinking and whatnot. That's my personal opinion. But I just think it's unfair for Christians to take the same law to bring in Bible clubs in an after school setting and then get mad when somebody who has a different religious perspective wants to bring in their religious teaching in an after school setting.
And Lucian, when you hear Pastor Cofield say antagonistic title, why call it that? Why call it the Satan after school program? Why don't you call it the secular program or the science program?
Well, because we do want a shot at redemption for the name. We legitimately identify as Satanists. And even though we're non-theistic, personally, that holds a lot of meaning to us. And it's not...
Before you go any further, for the viewer who may be just tuning in or trying to understand all of this, when you call yourself a Satanist, what does that mean exactly?
Right. It's not devil worship. We're non-theistic, meaning we don't hold to supernatural beliefs or we don't endorse supernatural beliefs. We don't believe in a literal Satan, but we do view Satan as a literary metaphor that stands for us, a revolt against tyranny, and more specifically, in most cases, theocratic tyranny. And we feel it's theocratic when government tries to endorse one religion over another or give one lesser placement over another. And I think what a lot of people don't understand about us is that even though a lot of people who came to identify as Satanists have backgrounds in which they had a negative relationship to mainstream churches or institutions, it's not with hostility to Christian individuals that they've taken that perspective. It's something that's kind of evolved in them throughout their lifetime. And I think that I understand Mr. Cofield's reticence to have government endorse your religious viewpoint, because the fact of the matter is we wouldn't want that either. We wouldn't want a school board saying we only will accept the after-school Satan club, but Christian clubs do not apply. Because for us, somebody's religious belief, theistic or non-theistic, isn't genuine if taken under coercion. So I think anybody of religious faith should be offended when a government institution tries to take ownership of what's sacred to them.
All right. Well, you just saw a Christian pastor and a Satanist agree that after-school Satan club should be in school. That's literally what you just watched. That's literally what you just watched. Literally what you just watched. And like I said, a lot of us Christians are more concerned about being politically correct. Being politically correct is going to get you approval in this world. It's going to allow, doors to open that otherwise probably wouldn't be open if you were operating differently. But when you put your political correctness above God, that's when it becomes a problem. because we have an opportunity as Christians to preach the good news, which is Jesus died for us because he loves us, because he wanted to make a way for us to enter into heaven, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to get into heaven, because we've all committed crimes against God. We're all guilty of committing crimes against God, and we will all stand in judgment one day. We are all going to pass away. That's what these, religions aren't going to tell you. The Satanic Temple, they're going to tell you, oh, you'll be born again, you'll be reincarnated, you're going to go to a better place, you'll be resting in peace. But they don't want to tell you that, when you pass away, you're going to be judged before God, and you're going to be found guilty. And the only way to get around that guilty verdict is the blood of Jesus. If you do not have the blood of Jesus, then you're going to go to hell. And that's not, a hateful thing to say. That's just the reality of what I hold to be true in the Bible as a Christian. So if I'm going to say that I think it's okay for these programs to be around, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And there's so many Christians that are just laying down and just allowing these things to happen because it's politically correct, right? So anyway, let me know what y'all think. This is a crazy story. Get in my comments. Join the conversation, like this video. I'm out.